There is one crucial, absolutely crucial element of our faith in Jesus that has the power to heal many of us with suicidal thoughts, intentions, and ideation. It is the single most important thing in our relationship with Jesus. And I wanted to share my story about how I found healing from being suicidal. It would not be possible without God, and here's why. My whole life I have felt misunderstood, and that feeling just made me feel so alone. It made me feel like no one understood me or my problems. I felt like I was constantly battling my circumstances all alone. This is perhaps one of the most dangerous mindsets anyone can acquire because loneliness itself can kill, and it can cause being suicidal. So think twice before you bully someone online or alienate someone in person. At the end of the day, we're all human beings and we all have a need for relationships and love and hope. And when we're lonely, we often lose hope out of feeling unloved. I grew up having bipolar disorder and no one else I knew had anything like it. So I learned as a kid to feel frustrated and angry because I had no one to explain to me why I was feeling what I was feeling. I had trouble opening up to people, and I always felt that I needed to say I'm fine just to be polite, which I think a lot of people do this as adults too. We don't want to burden anyone with our problems, so we pretend to others like everything's okay, even when we're literally suicidal. Like we're literally dying inside, but we still pretend because we care what others think about us. And honestly, that's a part of a lot of our faith journeys as well. We have to learn to be vulnerable and tell the truth about what we're feeling. People who feel misunderstood are the people who keep it to themselves, but it's because they don't tell anyone else about their problems. The problem with being misunderstood is that it inevitably makes you feel unloved. Like, if I don't know you, I can't fully love you because I can only choose to love what I know to be true about you. And then I have to make the conscious choice to love those parts of you. We can only love as far as our knowledge of the truth goes. This goes for our faith in God as well, right? We can only love God to the extent we know about his character, who he is, and that's why Christians are always in pursuit of a relationship with him. We need to know him to get into heaven, understand how he's working in our lives, be transformed into better people, live out our God-given purpose, and honestly just have faith. We can only love someone as much as we know them. This is the core reason of why I was suicidal, and this is also the reason God was the solution to my healing from being suicidal. Not one person on the earth fully understood me. They didn't understand why I was having anxiety attacks every day, or why I was so depressed, or why I had trouble getting out of bed in the morning. They just simply didn't know because they didn't know what it was like to have a mental illness similar to mine. But guys, God understood me. So the number one thing that healed me from being suicidal is God's unconditional love. God knows me perfectly. He knows who I was, who I am, and who I will be, and he has chosen to love all of it, no matter how messy or broken I may be, because I can be very, very broken sometimes. And if he fully knows me, honestly, better than I know myself, then that means he has the power to love me fully as well. And God always chooses to perfectly love all of us wherever we're at in life. And I had to build that relationship with Jesus to learn this about him. The thing is, and I believe that anyone of any faith can actually agree with this, is that we're born into this world with a desire to be loved. Some of us grow up in broken homes and we see how the lack of love was part of our destruction or emotional turmoil. And some of us grow up lonely without friends or siblings, and our lack of love from others breaks us down over time. We are constantly searching for love, and many of us search for romantic love, and some of us even create families so we can both give and receive love. I had both a good family and eventually good friends later in life. I had over 100,000 followers on Instagram, and even though I had these things, none of them filled me. As a Christian, I've learned to only really be filled by God's love, and I believe we were all designed with a God-sized hole in our hearts for his love. And that's why love from others doesn't always make us feel whole, because no matter how loved we are by people, we will always be missing something. We'll always be missing our need to be loved truly, unconditionally. Only God can love us in this way. People will never satisfy what God designed for only himself to satiate. We were designed to need God's unconditional love. And this is what healed me, and this is what made me whole. Not love from the world, but love from God. So my advice to those of you who are suicidal, I invite you to consider if feeling misunderstood and unloved is a part of your mental illness. Because I do believe that being suicidal is its own illness. And I also invite you to think about how you might go about feeling loved. And then consider and remember that Jesus has the love for you that you need. If this video touched you or helped you in any way, please like and subscribe. I talk about faith and mental health on this channel, as well as Christian living. My goal is to always help you to love God more, but I honestly think today's video, the goal was just to get you to realize how much God loves you. Some of us are bothered with the idea that we're perfectly loved because the world has taught us that it's not possible. We've learned that unconditional love doesn't exist, but we've only ever experienced the broken love people can give us. That's why we need God, and rest assured you are fully and completely known and loved by him.